Yo, what's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Prison Break Raw. I'm your host, the one and only Big JD. Go ahead and give this channel, subscribe, share, leave some messages and comments, hit the like button, hit the notification bell to be informed on all upcoming episodes. It is my pleasure to present this collab. This has been a collab that's been in the making for some time now. Me and my brother right here, we've been talking for some time. He's a real one. He's done a lot of time in the CDC, well over a decade. I'll let him explain to you just exactly how much time he's done, where he's done it at. And basically what we're doing here is we're giving you the other side of the perspective as far as racial segregation in the California state prison system. You've heard a lot of it from various different formerly incarcerated white men or Chicanos. Now you're going to hear it straight from a black man's mouth. He's going to tell you how it's looked at on that side. And he's also going to talk to you about a lot of other things that the rest of us talk about. He's going to also talk to you about what he's doing now and his goals for the future. So with that said, it is my pleasure to present to you my man out of Sac, Nate Dogg 916. Welcome, Nate.
Man, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate you, man. And yeah, my name is Nate Dogg. YouTube is Nate Dogg 916. Yeah, I'm from Del Paso Heights. I'm from Sacramento, but I'm from Del Paso Heights to be specific, from the north side of Sacramento. And yeah, I mean, that's who I am. To get into it, like if you've seen the I was an active blood gang member, and I did some things that led me to incarceration, man, and I ended up doing 16 years, 10 months to be exact. You know what I mean? So almost 17 years solid, straight, no breaks on level 4 penitentiaries in California. Straight, no breaks. So anybody who don't understand what that means, like I didn't get out and come back and do a violation and go out and come back and do, no, I did 17 straight, no breaks, no, all GP, all the same, the whole time, like on the line the whole time. And, it was what it was for assault with a deadly weapon, attempted murder, basically, with a gun, whatever. Basically pistol whipped somebody until they went into a coma and they locked me up for it.
No, yeah, I like how you said, 16 with no breaks.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different terminology that a lot of people out there all across the world hear. And they think that we all have the same terminology, but in reality, all the different cars or different ethnicities and stuff have a lot of their own different prison lingo, different terminology.
Absolutely.
And things. When Nate right here says 60 with no break, what we like to say is when there's a break, it's like, I did 20 years on the installment plan. That's basically saying that you've been in and out.
Right.
But if somebody was to say, like a lot of my homies say, like 20 years back to back, it means the same thing as no breaks.
Right. Okay.
So you said that you've been on a level 4 yard, you were GP the whole time. We're going to get into a lot of that because there's a lot of interesting questions that I want to ask you about, GP yards and S&Y and how it's looked at, like in the black population in these prisons. But I'm told you have a bunch of paperwork right there with you. Is that true?
Oh yeah. I gotta. First of all, I mean, I know it's like a relic, but I knew I was going to end up getting into this stuff. And people say, they go everywhere with their paperwork. Well, these are still the envelopes I got from the prison legal library. They're still in those envelopes, and this is my case. That's what all my 5 counts right there. That's just that. And then this is prison paperwork. Like, so, this, just like I know, a lot of these dudes say paperwork, but don't understand because they really never was, into it like that. Like, it's different kinds of paperwork. Like, this is my legal case. This is what I was in prison for. This is the stuff that happened in prison. Like, so basically, anytime I hit somewhere, I can track every yard, every incident I've been in because I still got my paperwork from all the stuff I had to do or was involved in. All my transfer paperwork, all, the spots I landed at, my lockup orders, all that is right here. I got my original 128s before those fancy little nice ones you see people with these days. They had them like this on the old school E-dot printers. You know what I mean? So yeah, I got all mine still. And for those, I don't know if people can see it. For those who don't know, it shows you your whole booking report, everything you got arrested for when you got arrested, everything you were convicted for. Let me be more precise. Everything you were convicted for is going to be on your 128. So yeah, I stay with mine just because I just want to remain, unquestionable on that page, on that part of it. You know what I mean? It can't be questioned if I could show it. You know what I mean? I could show.
Exactly.
I got. That's one thing. Like on the black side of the political arena, as we should say, we don't question paperwork. You can't question paperwork. You know what I mean? And just like you can't bring no smut up against somebody else without paperwork, you don't question somebody else's paperwork. This is like you said, like somebody said on one of these things. This is my driver's license. But I don't have to have it on me at all times. But this is my driver's license. I got this. This says what I'm qualified for. You know what I mean? Period.
Yeah, that whole thing did turned into a shitstorm online, and I did some satire about it because
right.
I mean I've done a gang of years. I did mine like I said on the installment plan, but I've been in and out since the early '90s. And one thing that I know and it's just like I've said before, these cats talking about hooping their paperwork out of the reception center onto the mainline yard. I mean, we all know that when you're in the reception center, you're not really given any kind of paperwork, man. You don't get a 128G until you hit the main line of the facility that you're at. Now, if you want to take that 128G from a main line and you transpack to another main line, yeah, I'm pretty sure you can hoop your 128G if you want to. Or what a lot of dudes do, just to be safe, is if you're in ad seg and you get basically an adverse transfer out of that institution, then you're gonna want to stick that 114D lockup order probably up in your ass, but that's like 1 or 2 pages. But
you see, let me be precise about something, right? You can see, I don't know, can you see right there what it says on that envelope?
Case legal.
Okay, so like I know, if you go to the hole, you fill out that paper of what you want out of your property, and they can't deny you your legal paperwork.
Exactly.
That's the thing. And that's why I always kept it in this envelope with case legal, so they don't have to say, oh, we couldn't find it, nothing. And any of my cell, and usually if I know I'm going to the hole, as something my stuff be already packed in my cell waiting for them to go get it. I mean, if I know I'm going. But if I'm not, they still got this that they know. Just go get my legal paperwork. That's all I want is my legal paperwork. It's all together. And I would have it all wrapped up with a piece of sheet. So all they got to do is grab that and bring it to me. So.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, but when, like if you transpack from a reception center to a main line, you don't really have to shove all your paperwork up your ass because you're given a brown paper bag and it has the institution, your name on it, and the institution where you're going, and the schedule of the transpack or the transportation that you're going to be on. And that bag goes into the bottom of the bus. And when you get off the bus and you step foot in R&R, after you're done squatting and coughing, they're emptying all that shit out on the desk and they're handing it to you right there. So I don't know why somebody would have to go to any kind of extreme like that. Let me ask you this one. Go ahead.
It's not going to happen. Yeah. It's not going to happen, period.
So I also heard somebody tried to explain some shit to me about paperwork. He said that he could just copy all his shit down and handwrite it in little miniature letters and write all his stuff out on a piece of paper. Let me ask you this. If somebody shows up in your car and they hand wrote all their paperwork onto a piece of paper, are you going to accept that as valid?
Not even a little bit.
Exactly.
Not even a little bit. No, and this is across every part of the black car. I can speak and know truthfully that every part of that car, if you need to have original paperwork, you need to have, and there better not be no pages missing.
Exactly.
I mean, not only because believe me, the people that are checking know to look for pages missing too. You know what I mean? So it ain't gonna be no handwritten nothing.
That's what I said. I mean, and I honestly don't believe that any car in their right mind Unless, of course, they're ran by freaking some dude like Gomer Pyle or something like that is running their car. Somebody who's just like all out straight dumb is all hell in a box of rocks and more is going to accept that as being valid. But anyways,
Nah.
yeah.
And only thing you bringing. Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, let's talk a little bit about like in certain institutions you were at, like, so you've been on level 4 yards, so I'm pretty sure you've been. What did you do them in on like level 4s up north, or were you like ever down south?
It was mostly up north, so High Desert, Pelican Bay, New Folsom, New Corcoran, and then I hit Centinela 270 yard, but then we wasn't there that long.
Right. So on the one question that a lot of people like to ask is why the racial segregation? So they hear it from a lot of people that are white that have done time, and right off the bat, the minute somebody who's white talks about this, they're automatically assuming, oh, they're a Nazi, they're racist, all this and that. Same thing with like somebody who's Chicano. So let me ask you this: on the black side of it, how do you guys feel about like the segregation and the racial segregation and stuff? What's your take on all that?
Okay, so basically, the way that I believe, that the way I look at it, the way I believe convicts look at it is strength in numbers. So we're gonna stick, and we got to stick to and protect our own. You know what I mean? While in there, the institutions don't make it no better because they automatically make it segregated off top. So let's be clear about that. When you first go in, at least when I went in from my time, when you go in, they put you in with your race. They're not asking you. They're not asking you if you want to go in anywhere else or do you want to segregate or not. Nah, you black, and of course, you're not gonna look at me and mistake me for anything else. You know what I mean? So they're gonna put me in with a black off top. It doesn't matter. The only thing they're gonna ask me as is in reception is who do I run with, and all I said at reception was I'm black. I'm black. You put me wherever. I'm black. Then I made sure that, once you know how you can wiggle and make sure you go where you're supposed to go once you get where you at. You know what I mean? But I'm not, I think that the segregation starts with the institution. The institution makes it segregated. And it's been over so many years going way back to before my time and yours, that it's become to where they segregate us already. So we go into the same trap, not even talking about the gangs, but the racial part of it. So then we go along with it. And of course, they pit us against each other, and the psychosis being created in our heads to just keep going with it. You know what I mean? Like, that's anybody other than on the black side, anybody that's not black is the enemy. You know what I mean? So if you're not black, you're a potential threat. You know what I mean? And at the same time, the blacks got it to where if you're not black and then you break it up into cars, obviously, to where the gangs, anybody that's not a blood is a threat. I mean, it's they make us what is it called when you branch off into group? Tribalized. They make us tribalized, basically. You know what I mean? And it's an unfortunate situation, but it's not something, like I said before, that can be changed by just saying let's change it. I do not agree with personally. I do not agree with them trying to integrate. At least not level 4s. I don't know what they're doing on lower levels. I just feel like it'll be more bloodshed than good trying to integrate a level 4. You know what I mean? And a real level 4, you know what I mean? Because I know for sure when you were active and I was like super active, like when we were really on our shit, you know what I mean? And they brought me to your cell, you're not letting me come in the house. You know what I mean? Period. And if they force it, then we already know what's going to happen as soon as the door closes. You know what I mean? It's unspoken shit is unspoken stuff. There's not stuff we have to talk about to understand that that's what would happen if they put us in that situation. I mean, it's like, I'm not going to be no sucker, so I'm not going to tell them they can't put you in here. But at the same time, me and you know what's going to go on once the door right. Because I ain't going to tell the police nothing. They knew what they was doing when they brought to my door. Okay, well, then me and you will figure it out. I mean, but I don't think, and I think that's the way a lot of level 4s look at it, like, it's not going down, and if you try to force it, then whatever happens just happens. You know what I mean? And whoever the other person is, if they doing that on a level 4 yard, they're ready. the single cell, the person that's in the cell by themselves already waiting to see who they gonna bring. They already ready if that's what they doing, and they not. And whoever the person's coming in the cell is gonna have the worst part of that deal.
Exactly.
On almost every time it happens, it's because the person in there gonna be ready already.
Yep.
Me personally, I don't agree with it. I believe that, you know, me on the streets, man, I've never had any kind of racial. You know, obviously I'm mixed. In case you people who don't know, your viewers that don't know, I'm mixed. I'm black and white. You know what I mean? So I grew up in a mixture of white and black people. You know what I mean? Yes, I grew up in a black community, but I still have my white family members involved. You know what I mean? So I've never really had a racial issue with anybody. And like as far as Latinos go, I grew up around Northern Mexicans, Norteños for people who don't understand what a Northern Mexican is. And we all got along. We didn't have no racial issues. We didn't have no problems like that. It was just other dudes in the neighborhood. I mean, I actually never even learned what really a Sereno was until I was like 17, almost 18 years old. You know what I mean? And then, like I think you told me, back in the days, there wasn't even a lot of racial stuff with Serenos and blacks down south. That happened later in life.
Yeah, it wasn't really that bad because, you know, I tell a lot of people, and a lot of people know, because like I said, my life's an open book. But,
Right.
I mean, I had dudes like way back in the day. I mean, there was an OG blood, and I'm not gonna say what neighborhood he's from. I'm not gonna say what his name is because you already know we don't do that on this channel.
Right. Right.
But I learned a lot of game from him. I looked at him like he was a mentor, you know, and I wasn't the only one. There was a lot of homies because he was staying out there in Southeast LA, and then he moved out to East LA, and there was a lot of homies used to chop it up with him. There was a lot of homies used to kick it at his pad. There was a lot that was always going on right there. And I mean, back then it was a lot different than it is now. It started to get worse going through the 90s after the LA riots. It started to get real bad after the LA riots because a lot of people, if they weren't in the LA riots, they knew that that when everybody just went off and started ripping the frame off the whole town, like people were attacking Mexicans, people were attacking whites, people were attacking Asians, and blacks were attacking blacks. It was just all out chaos, anarchy.
Yep.
So then after that point, that's when I started to notice that the racial tension started to take off from there. And it's not anybody's one person's fault. I mean,
it's just the nature of the beast.
Right. It all started with you know, actions of police officers on a dude named Rodney King, and it just got blown out of proportion. The media, basically, in my opinion, the media is more to blame for that whole situation than anyone else because
if you look at it from that standpoint, right, you could look at that and say that even in the institutions, it's the same kind of situation. That instead of trying to ease stuff in, they'll try to force it, knowing it's going to happen, knowing the bad stuff's going to happen. You know
they wanted to happen because they love drama. That's how they get more money.
Or that's like saying, like you know, like I know. I mean, excuse me if I keep saying that, but I know that you have the same mindset because you've done a lot of time as well. That if we in the shoe and the doors pop and it's your cell open and my cell, or a white cell and a black cell open, we're not going to come out and say, oh, I don't have no beef with you, I'm going to go back in my cell.
It's on.
It's automatic green light. So
on
it's
site,
like that. Yeah. And so say that white man happens to be somebody in his organization, and I do something bad to that man. Now that word's going to go back to the yard that a black did something to this specific white man. That's going to keep other bullcrap going down the line. So it's not as easy like the system. And then they would pop the doors. It's like, it's a numbers game, man. They play the numbers so well, man. It's not just we can say, oh, I think people have the idea that, oh, you guys just don't have to fight each other, or you guys don't have to stab each other or try to hurt each other. No, what are you talking about? It's all set up so that we do. You know, it's not.
Prison is like people think this shit's a game, man. People think that this is like a joke. I mean, prison is hell on earth.
Yes,
what it is.
Definitely.
And a lot of people are fascinated with it. And then, like I said, you know, you hear some of these cats, they get on and they try to, you know, pump out all this bullshit, all this bravado and grandiosity to try to basically put, you know, to sell the public an image of themselves. And they disguise it, like people will disguise this kind of shit as a positive message. But I can't really see like the positivity through all the bravado and the bullshit, you know? It's just like, it's like sometimes when I hear this shit, it's like sometimes I feel like I'm watching Jim Jones or David Koresh or some other kind of cult.
Trying to brainwash people.
Yeah, Reverend Moon or something like that. The fucking, what are those people? The Hell Bop Comment people. The cult people. All killed themselves with applesauce and cyanide just to write a comment. I mean, it's like cult programming, opticals, neuro-linguistic programming type stuff that the government does it, the media does it, and people are just, you know, stuck on that. But the thing with all of this is what people don't understand, and I think you know very well, is that once you get into this system, all that you're saying goes out the window. You say, well, I'm going to do this, I won't do that, I'm going to do this, I won't do that. No, you're not. You're going to do everything that you told, or you're not going to be there. Simple as that.
And see, that's another thing that kills me, right? And I try to tell people, like, yeah, you could say what you're not going to do. You could say what you're not going to do. But we both know, and everyone knows, even all these bravado people, no matter what they say, you're going to fall in line. I don't care who you think you are. I don't care how being big don't make you tough. Being willing to kill don't make you tough. None of that, because I promise you, almost 100% of your car when you get there are willing to do the same stuff that you're willing to do. You know what I mean? Or they wouldn't be a part of that car. So
yeah, anybody can kill. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All this. I did what I want, when I want it, how I want it. Man, come on, man. Come on, man.
Don't work like that, man.
At all. I don't care who you are. It don't work like that.
It don't work like that.
But just say, okay, you've proven a propensity for murder. That don't mean nothing to that 90-pound dude sitting in the Pelican Bay shoe giving orders. That don't mean nothing to him. You didn't do nothing in here. We don't care what you did out there. We don't care who you think you are. You're not running up on no yard talking about you got the keys. I'm whoop, whoop, whoop from where. And I'm running shit. No, you're not.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's switch gears a little bit here to something else. You said you're half black, half white, right?
Yes, half black, half white.
All right, but you identify as black, correct?
Yeah. Well, in penitentiary, I'm a black. I'm a sell up. I'm only selling with blacks. I'm not, and that's just what it is.
Okay, have you ever seen another man who's half black and half white try to run white and claim white instead of claiming his black side? Has that ever happened? Have you ever seen that?
In prison?
Yeah.
Hey, to be honest with you, bro, I couldn't see any white organization or any white car or any white man that stands up for being a white man in prison letting anybody got a proven drop of black be a part of his car. I'm gonna just be honest. I can't see it. Your car is based on racial loyalty, basically. So why would you, like, I could see if they said like a Latino was part, or like Latino saying the whites can be part, you know what I mean? You could be a part of this, you know what I mean? But a black being a part of anything white, I can't see it. I can't see it. I've even seen Latino gangs let blacks join, you know, blacks that grew up in their neighborhoods like that. But I could never see, because most, and I'm talking about in prison, most white groups that I've witnessed are based on some kind of racial foundation. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's necessarily hate, but some of them are based on because I've had a lot of conversations with guys, and the unconscious observer would see it as hate, but some of them are based on just basically racial loyalty. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily I hate everybody else, I just love us better. And I had a conversation with a guy that said that to me. I don't have nothing against you. I just would rather my people stick to my people and ride with my people and all that. So I couldn't see any of those organizations or those groups letting a black man no matter how much they know he's black, be a part of the organization. It's just not. It doesn't even make sense on either side. I couldn't even honestly see the blacks. Not my car. You couldn't be from my city. You couldn't be from my city and say you black. Oh, I'm black from Shaq, but I'm riding with the whites. I couldn't see you staying on the yard I'm at. We might have to go ahead and kick off a little riot or something.
Yeah.
We might have to go ahead and kick that off because you're a threat. You make yourself a threat when you're doing that.
To everybody, pretty much, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you make yourself a threat that has to be eliminated. It's because, in my opinion, it's only a matter of time before it's gonna kick off behind you anyway.
Yeah, because I know in our car, like we got homies that are black. We got homies that are half black. I had a celly in the reception center at Wasco one time. He was from out there in Bakers. He was half black, half Chicano. So, but he didn't identify as black like how you said. You identify as black. He went in there and he identified as being Chicano. Even his bed card, he had it fixed to where it was, you know, he had that pink tag. You know, you like blacks had the blue tag, Mexicans had the pink, and then the whites had the white, and the others had yellow tags, right?
Yeah, yellow for the Asians. Yep.
Well, he had that pink tag, and he was able to get that because that's what his birth certificate said. So yeah, I know what you're saying about that. One thing that I do know about a lot of white dudes that are in there, I've known a lot of white dudes that are in there that got like Mexican old ladies, might have Asian old ladies on the streets. So I think that, you know, they might subscribe to the ideology in there as a form of survival and mutual like security. But I don't really know necessarily how many of them are truly, you know, downright racist.
Yes, exactly. And that's my point. Right. And that's my point is like prison will have you doing things that appear to be racist, but it's not really racist. It's just about survival up in there. You know what I mean? It's like this is the law of the land. So this is what's popping off. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So.
All right. So let me ask you this, because, you know, a lot of people talk about like sex offenders and stuff, people that got like maybe some rape charges, or some funny ass like child molester charges or something like that. What happens like because we can't really even say the black car, because it's like you said, it's all these different tribes. You got Bloods, Crips, you know, whatever. But what is the general get down on that side, like on the black side, as far as like sex offenders and stuff? Let me be 1,000% honest here for the viewers, right?